Hello and welcome to Friday. And what a Friday it was. The weather was absolutely amazing here, February. Not too bad. It's all good. So it's got to make everybody happy, put a smile on people's faces. And of course, when the sun's shining and it's warm, you can't hate it. So today, we're going to do something a little bit different today, but something that's super important, our health. Talk about our health. Because, you know, it's great to have the wealth, but if you don't have health, really doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. So I am so excited to have a repeat guest here with me, Dr. Erika Jurasits from Integrative Healing Wellness, located right here in Port Jefferson, right here on Long Island. So welcome, Dr. Erika.
Yeah, thank you, Denise, for having me again. I'm really excited to be here. You're absolutely right. It's so nice to have the sun out, and I'm sure that helps everyone after having a little bit of winter blues over the weekend, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do we have? Like we were talking 2 degrees on Saturday and then 50 on Sunday. So nobody knows what's going on. It's pretty much a mess. But yeah, so I guess a little bit of background. So I found you on we were just talking during the pandemic, July of 2020. I can't believe it's almost 3 years. And you resonated with me with the webinar that you had. I was having some issues, not really issues, but changing as you get older, things change in your body, and a little excess weight, and aches and pains and all this type of thing. And you have a program that helped me address all of those situations, and felt great. Still feel great, but I'm still sticking to the program.
That's the key, right? It's all about lifestyle change. It's not just, let me do this for a short period of time. It's really a lifestyle change, and what you learn in our programs is you can say, is what kinds of things do you need to do to keep that balance going? Mm-hmm. And that's a big key factor. But it's healing, right? We want to get to a healing component, and utilizing our 5 pillars of having a detoxification, assessing nutrition, having fitness, movement, and sometimes not too much of it or too little of it, and nice balance there, hormonal balance, and then of course having someone to kind of walk through with you is really what brings you back to health. And as you can testify, once you start to feel that healing power, you get that energy coming from within, and it's so much nicer to live life to our fullest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's not easy, but anything that is easy is usually not worth it, and things that are hard are worth it. And so it's getting started. But what I loved about the program was that it was like a class. Like you were taught things, and we all say, oh, we know this is good or this is bad, or we heal different things. But it was able to go through this system and realize that cholesterol is not so bad, and fats are not bad, and things that we typically know, and more importantly, tailoring it to me, tailoring it to you. That's the most important part. So, we see a lot of people are health coaches today and that type of thing. And I think it's important because everybody needs to have this in their life. It's super important, especially with the way food is today. And, so I guess talk a little bit about, the program and how things that you learned.
Yeah, I guess how we kind of individualize it. I think it's so important to know that there's not one nutritional process for each and every person. Some people come in as vegan, some people are paleo, even pescatarians, right? All sorts of things that might be there, but we're looking at what are your deficiencies? What are the things that are happening in your body? And it's about your history, what got you to this point, and then we talked earlier today, looking at what kind of laboratories are going to be helpful. And I shared with you, and sometimes I always feel like diagnostics are really, really important, but I always find that the health history is really important too, learning from childhood to now, what did you do in your life? That's what makes you an individual. What are the genetics, which are, by the way, only about 5% of what's going to happen to you, but we're learning about who you are, and then we're taking those diagnostics and really dialing it in. I shared also that for myself, I would have never realized that a lot of my causes for autoimmunity was Epstein-Barr virus and heavy metal toxicity. I wouldn't have thought twice about that. I didn't know I had Epstein-Barr. I never, stayed home from school as a kid from the kissing disease or anything like that. So what did I know, right?
And you found that in mine too. I had a little touch of it. I remember back when I was in college. That something must have went down, and I had it, but same thing. I'm not laid out flat in bed, but it's part of my makeup.
Yeah, Absolutely, and it's something that you went through, and so the diagnostics really do help kind of tailor it even more so to you, especially when you're seeing so many of the deficiencies. And now we're seeing so much in the autoimmune factor. You know, we talked about how this world has changed so significantly since 2020, and we're seeing a lot of autoimmune issues, and we're seeing a lot of inflammation. And I can't tell you how many deficiencies and insulin resistance can really, worsen that process. So it's important to look at.
Yeah, and I love the fact that so many people, and again, we get to know people, and we become a family. We have meditation classes, we have other book reading clubs, and yoga, and a lot of the people, they were on various medications, and in some cases were able to lower their dosages, or in some cases eliminate them entirely. And that's pretty remarkable. I mean, you came from a traditional, you were a traditional doctor that went over to Integrative Healing Wellness. And that's what I love about working with you too, is that you can see both sides,
Yeah, and I left family I was a family physician, or I should say I still am a family physician, but I don't practice the usual way anymore. I'm not a primary care provider, and part of it was what you're describing, is I wanted to give everyone a whole look at how to take care of yourself. It's not just about medications, it's about how do we handle stress with meditation, with yoga. Maybe it's just breathing more during the day, or taking a short walk in the middle of your day, right? So we deal with all of those lifestyle changes, and that's what was really missing in my family medicine. I could say it, but not involving you like we do now. And really doing that whole person, that whole wellness. If I don't involve you, it's really difficult to see how that's, how it's going to help you in the future. And I think we forget about it too, right? We're running the rat race like everyone else.
All day long, And then speaking about rat race, you have the physicians that, they can't spend the time like they used to be able to spend with you, because just like anything, a lot of careers, but especially, you want to go in there and you feel like you're in and you're out with the doctor's office, and you're not getting the full attention and care that you really need and deserve.
Yes, absolutely. And that was a struggle for me. I did not want to spend 5 minutes with my patients at the time. I wanted to spend 30 to 45 minutes just learning who they were, and we get to know each other. Like you said, we really become a family, and our wellness community has just grown and grown. And from doing classes where we learn about stress or diabetes or high blood pressure or cholesterol, to, as you mentioned, taking a yoga class together or meditation. And through 2020, we've been able to do it virtually, which is really amazing.
And it is good. I know we like to get together, but it kind of is good. I can run out of my office and go right to the yoga class, which I do. In all honesty, right? Transparency. Yeah. But so it's really, really good. And some people say, oh well, like this meditation, I can't meditate. I say like it's anything. You take the things that work for you and roll with it. If you look at the level of what you're doing right now, just doing something else is going to make it so much better.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. It's just pieces. If you can add one piece every couple of weeks, and that's a big part of what we learned too, is when I first came out, I thought, well, you got to change everything. And I realized that over time, I really want to work with people where we're integrating it, implementing it step by step into your life. Everybody has a different journey. Yeah. And we can, life is crazy. So it's not all about do all these 50 things. Do one thing today.
And that's so important to say, because people are like, oh my gosh, I have to add all of this other stuff in here. And it is challenging, but like I said, just plug in the things that are going to make the biggest advancement for you, where you're gonna see the changes, and you do. As long as you make those adjustments in your diet and everything, and it really makes a whole lot of difference. So we're running to the break, but I'm here with Dr. Erika Jurasits, and just give your company and your phone number.
Integrative Healing Wellness, and we're at 631-509-6888.
So give them a call. And you are listening to the Financial Chick Show. I'm the Financial Chick. And I help you find financial solutions when you feel like there are none. And my number is 631-758-8691. Stay tuned after the break, and we'll have more. Crash. Yeah, but it lasts for another time. I'm ready to roll again.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Welcome back. This is Denise Snowstrom, the Financial Chick. My company's in Medford, and you can reach me at 631-758-8691 or visit my website at financialchickshow.com. I'm here to help you on your financial journey. Over the years, things change, and I'm here to help you navigate all those changes. Today, I'm excited to have with me Dr. Erika Jurasits, and she is the owner of Integrative Healing Wellness. And I can say I've worked with her for almost 3 years now, and we're putting together and meshing the health is wealth. And so let's talk a little bit more about the program. And well, I guess I started my year off, and people that have been listening to the show, I started off my year with my detox and my gut repair. Now, I guess tell my audience, you would say it more eloquently than I do. Why would I do something like that?
Wow, so many components to it, but I think the biggest thing is that we are exposed to so many different toxins in our everyday life. And you know, one of the things that people don't realize is that toxins or buildup or stress can increase toxins, the chemicals that we're getting in from foods, from the environment, from plastics, all of that. And then even things just like having multiple surgeries or accidents, that can build up a stressor in the body and cause toxin buildup. So we're just overburdened. We are so overburdened.
And the thing that you said, I remember what the antibiotics.
Yes, medications, and you know, we've done, it's a part of how do you detoxify, right? Well, your body gets rid of it in your gut, right? Your GI system. So what have we done to our GI system? We've given it Advil, Motrin, all of those, you know, anti-inflammatories. We've given them tons of antibiotics over the years. Maybe we've done a lot of, anti-reflux medicines, anti-acid medicines. All of those destroy our GI system, really destroy it. Stress destroys our GI system. So how is your GI system going to get rid of the toxins or absorb the appropriate nutrients to be able to detoxify if it's not working correctly? So part of what you've done, and my whole team right now is doing a detox too, so we're doing it with you. We're walking the steps with you, and it's not bad, right?
No, it's that, well, you know, when people say like, it's not like, oh my God, you're drinking these weird things, and it really isn't like that at all. It's, you know, limiting foods, and you know, some things are hard. You know, the coffee. When I tell people like, oh my God, I could never. I don't even drink coffee anymore. I mean, every once in a while, but I go to tea now. I haven't drank coffee in about 3 years. You know, consistently anyway.
Sure.
And so, you know, and all those things you're talking about, like how they you know, you might have rashes, and you know, might be tomatoes. So when you eliminate and you bring it back, then you get the rash. When you didn't have them, you know. So it's really figuring stuff out, and it's not unlike what I do. You know, trying to figure out why, getting to people like, you know, how are you getting into debt, and how do we get out of debt?
Right.
It's really looking at the big picture. And you said something before, like I didn't want to spend just 5 minutes with my patients. I wanted to spend more time. You know, when people come to me, they're like, oh, you know, you just do investments, so I don't have money. There's just so much more to it. Or, you know, I'm taking these medications, and that's what I need to do.
Right.
But we can probably say that's not the case, right?
Well, I think you bring up a really good point. There's, you know, we talked earlier about there's a stepwise progression. You want to take one step at a time. Same thing in the wealth area. You want to take one step at a time, right? Both areas kind of walk through that. And when people come to me, or when they came to me as a family doc for medications, you have to be ready, right? You know, there's so much resistance in this world. I mean, how many of us have started to say in January 1st that we're going to go work out every day and eat right, and how has that changed, right? It's been, 6 weeks, almost 7 weeks. And most of us have stopped doing it, and it's because of the resistance. We are, something in our bodies just stops us from doing it. The idea though is that if you do things slowly, if you put something in stepwise, step progression, you will improve every single day, and that will become a lifestyle change. It becomes a habit. You have tons of habits. Why not just change them out with better habits?
Right.
Instead of just taking a pill, which only masks what's going on. That's the problem. If it didn't, right, we'd all be, you know, real slim and not have any medical problems, because we would take a pill and we would get rid of it, and we could stop it. But you can't stop those medications. because they're nothing. It didn't make you better, and that's what we want to see. We want to see you get healthy. And you talked about before, a lot of people end up coming to us and get off meds. We have our little drug jug in the office that you can come in and give us your medications you're not taking anymore, and we'll throw them out for you.
And that's huge. And that's huge because, you know, like you had said, I remember you telling me when we first started that, you know, people, you'd put them on medications and then didn't have the issue rectified, but they had other issues. So now it becomes the snowball effect of, now I'm not taking one, but I'm taking 10 different medications. And that can't be healthy.
No, they are just chemicals, right? They're going to disrupt your liver, and please don't get me wrong, there are reasons for the healthcare system. There are important reasons for the healthcare system. But when you're talking about chronic disease, it's very difficult to get healthy in that fashion because the doctors just don't have the time to do what it takes to help you turn it around. That's the challenge. So they have what they have in their little, you know, bag of tricks, and it's medication. But most people really don't want to be on meds. They get that it's not really a fix. You know, if your blood pressure is 220 over 110, I'm going to put you on a medication too, because what we do takes time, right? Time and effort, and if you're willing and ready, though, it works. It's a beautiful
It does. I could be a testament to say, you know, that and just different things too. Like we talked about meditation, you know, that may not be your thing, but it's so therapeutic. And I've been telling so many people, there's this app that I use, Insight Timer, and I've been meditating in the morning. Life is messy. There's a lot going on right now, so I'm meditating so much more now. And it really just, if anything, it quiets the mind, and of course then quiets the body, and just makes you feel that much better. So, you know, stress, like you said, is terrible.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people right now are talking about inflammation and how, you know, the autoimmunity is increasing, and COVID did this to us. But really, to be honest with you, some of the neurological responses, or actually, I shouldn't say some, but one of the main neurological responses of stress, and please, the pandemic was stressful for everybody, increases your immune response and increases your cortisol. But eventually cortisol stops working and actually blocks. So no longer do you get that blocking effect. Cortisol is an anti-inflammatory, and it should really stop that effect that the brain's doing. But it doesn't, because it just goes on this big wire. So now a lot of us, from just stress, we're actually increasing our immune response and causing autoimmunity in our cells because of it. So yeah, meditation decreases that immune response. It calms things down. It gives you what we call the rest and digest phase, and takes you out of that, you know, fight or flight stage. And it's just such a beautiful thing. And you don't have to sit there and not think of anything, right? How many of us really think of nothing when we're?
Well, it's true that when they try to walk you back to say if your mind wanders, come back. But it's good. You like listening to either music or people, and it really calms the soul. It does.
Yeah, and it's
this crazy wild world.
And then it becomes easier to do that when you're doing your daily routine, right? Because now you've done it so often that when you do get stressed at work or something, you can say, all right, let me come back. And it's become, we call them cow paths, things that you just automatically come back to and make a path again.
But you're right, it does take time, and you just have to keep practicing. It's just like anything, like an athlete. You know, they weren't awesome right out of the box, but they train, and it's the same type of thing. And it doesn't take a lot of time. If you all know me, I'm crazy. I'm all over the place all the time. If I can fit this in, but you make it a point, and it's making you better, and that's the most important thing. You know. So we're running to the end already, but I want to thank you so much. And again, it's like if people want to work with you, how can they reach you? And
well, they can go to integrativehealingwellness.com, or they can call us at 631-509-6888, and we're in Port Jefferson, and we'd love to give you some more information, so call us.
And I think if you're on Facebook, she does, Dr. Erika does webinars, and that's how I found her. And I was to my happiness, you were right here on Long Island. That was like amazing.
Yeah.
So All good. Well, you've been listening to the Financial Chick Show, and I'm the Financial Chick. We will see you next Friday. Have a wonderful weekend.